Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron and Samantha. Brian will be joining us throughout the afternoon. You can see them getting the treks ready for some action this afternoon. And the big news, of course, mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six.
Yeah, huge news, and it's a fun card. It's 9 races, so it starts a little bit earlier. And race number 4, we all have the ticket today.
Yeah, we all have a ticket today. And not only that, guess who won the Kentucky Derby? A horse from Gulfstream. That's 26 horses that have run in the Florida Derby that have gone on to win the Kentucky Derby. Of course, congratulations to Bill Mott and the team.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
It makes you happy. It makes you just. It's funny to think that just the week of Florida Derby, that Sunday before, that's when Junior Alvarado, the jockey, went down and broke his clavicle, and then he's back, and then it's just so redeeming. Yeah.
Wins the Kentucky Derby, and what a great guy he is, too.
Yeah.
So we're very happy for him, and like I said, all the connections. With that said, we're starting today. Fast main track, firm turf course. We got the all-weather Topita throughout the afternoon, and it was exciting yesterday, and it's even going to be more exciting today, especially if you get that Rainbow Six ticket.
Heck
But
yeah.
before that, Brian has an early. Oh, wait, let's check out the Rainbow Six. Well, we don't really have to show it because it's mandatory
Yeah,
today.
it is. They're
It's all
expecting,
going.
Yeah, they're guesstimating around 3 million in the pool.
Yeah.
We'll see, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, and let's get to the first race with Brian's early pick 5 ticket. See what he's got going on. You always need that little bit of money to bet the ticket.
Exactly.
$54. We'll talk about the first. He's went 3 deep in race number 2. That's a wide open race over there. He's got the 4, 8, and 12. There's a single for him. It's Esperon in race number 3. Race number 4, 3 deep for him. But I think the logical horses, the 2, 5,
Yeah.
and the 7. And in race number 5, 4 deep for him. And that's a pretty wide open affair. And 4 and 5 races are part of the Rainbow Six.
There you go. So if that gives you any inkling into how he's seeing the beginning of the Rainbow Six, there it is, a spread race.
Well, the current favorite right now at even money is Our Money Moves. And how did you start things off?
Well, I started it off with the 7 here, Monet Never. I liked this horse because I think that he's going to sit a good trip. There's a lot of speed to the inside in this race, Ron. Now, as far as closers go on the Topita, I felt like it was pretty fair yesterday, so I like the drop in class, and I like these connections. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, dropping. You're going to get a nice little price there because it looks like everybody's zeroing in. And I was also trying to beat the one. I know it's very early in the wagering.
Right.
Everything might change. I did go with Frosty Shop, this one from Dwight Puckett. And he ran well enough to win, but he didn't run straight enough to win last
That's
time
so
out.
true.
So he knows how to win. Just got to figure out how to go straight.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like you sometimes when
Yeah.
you're driving, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, more like walking for you.
Walking for me. Our Money Moves the favorite right now off that maiden win for Jose Garofalo. Bruno Dance. It's always tough to jump up to the next level when you win. So
It is.
Wide open, may be a lot more wide open. Somebody probably made an early bet on the number 1. Race number 2 is going to be a 5.5 furlong sprint on the Topita. These are maiden claimers, and they are fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upper. We're going to scratch the 1, the 9, and all the also eligible entries in here. And another wide open affair. You put a ticket together?
I did, yeah. No Tropical Turf pick 3 today, so I was on early pick 4 duty. 2 horses here, Ron, significantly in race number 4. That's what starts that mandatory Rainbow Six. You can see I am spreading there. Now, my top pick is the 5, Speranzosa. Used a few 4-year-olds in this spot. And then in race number 5, to start the late pick 5, I do have the 6 on top. That's Super Watson.
Super Watson is super attentive in there too. So
Yeah, I know. Ooh,
Don't
that's
get
fun.
your supers mixed up, though, especially Pete upstairs there, but he never does.
Nah.
So let's. What'd you start it with?
I started with the 8 here in this spot, Ron, and Seminole Sally. This is my, let's see. Never mind. I was going to say this was my long shot, but not really. She's a 4-year-old here in a field of a lot of 3-year-olds. I like that she's getting back to what seems like her preferred surface. You look at that debut race. It was a really decent effort. That was in a maiden special weight. Now that was in September, so the quality I don't think is maybe as good as it is still here today, but I think she's got a big chance.
I went to the outside, who you have in second, and that's Our Wins Aren't Luck. And just think this one for Carlos Davis, who had a bang-up day yesterday. Did he win 3 races in a row, I think, or something like that? And he won one of the stakes with Tank. So I'm going to go with the hot hand. A couple of scratches to his inside.
Yeah.
Can't hurt this horse at all. And I just want to mention the number 11 in here, My Amy. This one is a first-time starter from Mike Maker, and I wanted to show his stats. Maybe you'll use this one somewhere in your ticket, so we'll quickly pop that up. First-time starter's maiden claim is the Peter Sprints at Gulfstream. He's good, 29%.
Really
right?
impressive.
You don't expect that,
No.
So, and just something to throw out there. And look who's riding. Edgard's Eye is back in town. So, My Amy, maybe you throw that one somewhere on the ticket.
Yeah, that's a really impressive stat. Really impressive.
Yeah, so we'll see you there. It's wide open second race plays. We'll flip the page, go to race number 3. 5.5 furlongs on the Topita. It's an allowance optional claimer, and these are 3-year-olds and upward. No scratches or jockey changes. You went to the inside with the number 1. Take care of business.
And he usually does. He's such a cool horse because he's one that he just tries so hard every single time. Oh, sorry, I thought I had to sneeze for a second. We're good. The post position, it's not ideal, but to his running style, to his credit, his running style, he's one of those that sits back a little bit, makes one run. So I think that we'll play the break, we'll sit a nice trip, then angle out to that best part of the track typically, which is down the crown, the middle of the track, and possibly get the win here. He nibbles every single time. I respect this horse a lot.
Yeah, a similar situation with Rachel's coach.
Oh,
the way this horse runs, just sits and makes that move, winner of 2 of its last 3 starts. I think a major player in there.
Yeah, she's coming back on pardon me. I always think she's a filly because it's Rachel's coach, but it's not. And then he's got Rachel's song as well that is a filly. But this is a boy. Sorry, Rachel's coach. He ran really well last time. He had Mika Husbands aboard. Mika Husbands is on him again today. Coming back a little bit quick. You look at the form, it's a win and then a second and then a win. Does it run out today?
Yeah. Well, that I think you could say that and flip-flop. Maybe you don't put him on. You don't single a horse like that because there is some questions in there. I had some interest in the number 6. This is the one that Brian had singled, and that's Esperon. This one from Dave Brady. And 25 optional claimers last time out, going 5 on the grass. Going to go all the way back to its Topita race where this one ran pretty well.
He was facing some pretty tough horses. Look, he beat a horse, Hurricane Nelson, in November of last year, and Hurricane Nelson came back to win 2 races, including a sprint stakes. He didn't run any good this week on Thursday, but still, I think that just is a testament to his class.
And the number 3 horse is is a gelding.
He is a gelding.
I'll leave it at that. So race number 3, I'm not going anywhere near that.
Nope.
So race number 3 is where we take a break, and when we come back, we'll have my, Samantha's, and Brian's Rainbow Six tickets.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron, Samantha, Brian will be joining us later. 5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden 3-year-olds. End up with scratch to 4. Deep Dusk. As we mentioned, mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six this afternoon. We'll start with my ticket first. We'll show it here. And I had to change it. I had a $115 ticket, and it got pared down to $64.80 with the scratches in race number 8. I was able to take a couple of horses out, and it just switched it around. You can see I got coverage here in the first first leg. I thought when I saw Brian's ticket, these were the logical two. Race number 5, pretty wide open for me, went 4 deep. Race number 6, my top pick is the 7. Things are getting hairy. Blast radius, excuse me. In race number 7, once again, Mean to Me is going to be a short price in there. And there, in race number 9, boy, it's going to be everybody's singles. If you could beat El Muhit in the last race with this Rainbow 6, like a B ticket, I think you got to go deeper.
Yeah,
but 64.80 for me. But that looks like strictly the one to beat.
It does. I agree. We'll take a look at mine. I'm going to be surprised about how much it is. Oh, 57. All right. I like it. My maths is not that great. Okay, so race 6, this is my single. I'm going to single blast radius.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, you could maybe kind of flip it, spread here between the 6th race and the 9th. I think that's where you can flip-flop it. Now, race 7, Ron, I do have the 4 on top. That is Play Free Bird. Race number 8, I have the 7 on top, Royally Blue. And in the finale, I do have the 8 on top, El Muhit. I think Rashid is a little bit interesting. I think Reneg is a little bit interesting. And I use Malazzo as well.
Yeah, I have those, horses on my try, but I was trying to keep it. There's Brian there. You see Brian?
There's Brian.
He finally woke up, Brian. He's here. Let's see his ticket as he's walking.
Yeah, let's look at his ticket.
80. Whoa, he's got the upside down pyramid today.
Wow, he's very top heavy. No opinions in 4, 5, 6, 7. And when we put these tickets together, Ron, I think what's so critical is to see. Tell us who you like from your ticket, and you can tell by his ticket the last 2 races, the 9 and race 8.
Coco Berrio, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so the 3-year-old taking on older. I like it. It's bold. It's a good one.
Yeah, and El Muhit, like we were talking about in the last, like I said, it's going to be the international single. If you believe in it, it's Rainbow Pick 5. So there's the 3 tickets. Of course, you can make your own up. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And another good part is when we do get to race 4, you get to see how the board is playing out. You might want to add or subtract or whatever, a horse. So it's good to me, and that will be in race number 4 today. Now, getting to this race, we both have Speranzosa, and we'll show a video of that one in the last Doradas.
Yes, so these 2 knocked heads last time. This horse here, this filly, she ran huge in this spot. The rails were at 10 feet this day. She just pressed things early on and look at Alice Doradas way out the back there and made actually a nice move. So just want to keep an eye on both of them. But I thought Speranzosa did the hard work out of this race. I think the other horses just got a little bit tired. Now you see Alice Doradas at the back. It made a big move, but I felt like Speranzosa did a little bit more work.
Yeah, I just thought that was the one to beat. Now, and we bet with the same exact. Went back to gridlock. Colin Moran, that horse. A little bit of guesswork. What do you make of it? Going from Chad Brown to Colin Moran. This horse ran at Tampa. You don't know really what you're going to get. Bullet work. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's interesting that the barn takes this mare to sprinting. Now, they purchased this horse from the Facing Tipton Digital February sale, which is pretty cool because you can get these horses that are already in race training and try them out. So I think it'll be interesting to see this Nyquist mare go back to sprinting.
Yeah, we'll see how it is. Similar with me with the number 7. This horse tried the mile last time out, going back to sprint, and the sprint 2 back wasn't that bad. Finished 5th. I just thought with Paco Lopez in the saddle, I'd give it a second look.
Yeah, and one really significant thing to note is Woods Point is a male. And there's some fillies in this race, so that's
good point.
Yeah, that's something to just take note of here. I switched between the 7 and the 8 as my 4th pick. Yeah. Now I'm wondering if I'm going to mess myself up here. I will say the Woods Point, my knock with that horse is just coming back pretty quick.
Yeah. So we'll see how it is. And that's the beauty, like I said, the 4th race. If you have a couple of singles like Brian does and you want to pare it down, maybe you take a couple of more horses in this 4th race. Race number 5 is a mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta, and it is an allowance optional claimer, and these are state-bred 3-year-olds and upward. We have no scratches, jockey changing here, but we do have a couple of, well, we have your ticket, your late pick 5 ticket we'll show first.
We do, and it's just a run back, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. That's it. I need the Blast Radius as my single, so it's a $36 play here.
$36 play. Now we got a couple of videos, and when I was doing, Brian and I put together a Rainbow 6 ticket, and we talked about Hot Blood and you know, Super Attentive. We'll show that video first. I'm not totally sold on this horse, so I wanted to show it. I want to see what you think.
Oh, about Hot-Blooded?
Yeah.
Okay, so Hot-Blooded I've always been against. It was crazy. This horse is all of a sudden, before winning 3 races last year, the last win from this gelding was on the turf in July of 2022. So he had gone 2 years without winning a race, and then all of a sudden, he is just this kind of horse. Now, in his last couple of starts, he's been with some pretty sharp claiming trainers. Like you mentioned yesterday, Carlos David, you said it at the end of the day. It's his world. We're just living in it. So, but now going away from trainers like Carlos David and Mike Maker, and Mike Maker had this horse back here in this replay. And this horse is a really nice Tapeta runner, it seems like. He's really just kind of changed his form. But again, what do you do away from those barns?
Yeah, you know, Jose Castro jumped in to claim this horse last time out. So, you know, okay, so I just thought you can go other different ways in here. And you did go, and well, let's go with Super Watson. There's Super Watson next to you. How about top of your ticket?
Yeah.
Easy for me to say.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this horse is now back to his preferred surface. I don't like the fact that this horse was claimed and then we didn't see this horse for some time, because that's not usually Safi's MO, but the race on the turf, the horse does have 2 turf wins on the page, but I just feel like he's a little bit, I mean, you look at his Tapeta races, he's got 6 wins on the Tapeta. Now, none of those are here, and he'll try ours for the first time.
Yeah, making its 44th career start. I'll show you a stat on Mr. Safi Joseph Jr., who's also the owner of this horse. Turfed at Tapeta at Gulfstream in the past 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Look at that sampling. It's 248 horses, 21%, 58% in the money. You knew the ROI would be about $1.50. Always bet Safi.
Yeah.
And you get an Edgard. That's the top team here. So
yeah, this is good.
Super Watson, certainly. Now, what do we get with Uno Tiger? Let's see a video of that horse. I think it was his last race. And that is Uno Tiger.
Look at this. This was July of last year.
Oh, that's right.
And this horse completely fumbled at the break there. Now, it's going to turn, so it's not too bad. And this horse's running style is just kind of that way. But you look at it here, boom, it wasn't good. My knock on this horse, Ron, and I don't know if you're going to use this horse anywhere, no wins in 2023. No wins in 2024.
Yeah, I did not use that one. I didn't
either. I can't. Paco's on the horse.
Yeah, and you know, Kathleen O'Connell, it's enough said when you see her there.
Yeah.
I did go reminder on the inside for Jose D'Angelo, just keying off that Tapeta race, 3 starts back, at a mile in the 16th, was a good third. Let's see how this horse runs today.
Yeah, it was a good third. I was just about to look when the last time that horse won a race.
Oh, reminder?
Uno Tiger.
Uno Tiger, yeah. I didn't use him.
Yeah. I know, I didn't either. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Brian Sharp, and he pulled the replay up, so I wonder. And the horse with Paco should probably take money, right?
It's going to take money.
Yeah, that's what I think.
They love betting Paco here. Race number 6. Hey, it's been a long weekend.
It has, yes.
6th race, a mile on the fast main track. Their claimers 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races. Scratch the 6, Leo Parte. And speaking of Brian, he left the late pick 4 ticket. He didn't leave it. He just walked by.
Yeah,
but he left this here as he walked by. Once again, sort of what he was doing with those 2 singles in race number 8 with the, what's the name of the horse on the outside? Coco Barrio.
Yes.
And then the 8 horse in there. Looks like I said it's going to be everybody single in there, and $10, very affordable. See, that's where you can add another horse.
Exactly.
And you know, it's $20. You know,
there you
that's
go.
the only math you and I know how to do. Both of us.
That's
We
it is.
Brian
That's
adds
so true.
Brian adds
Yeah.
everything for us.
By the May 2022 for Uno Tiger, the last
May
win.
22. Wow.
Yeah, you were like 104 then.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, race 6, yeah. A spread race, and I agree with it. Both of us have blast radius, though.
Yeah, show the
Let's see
video.
why, yeah.
I mean, this is just some window dressing, I would believe, if it's last race.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have to take horses like this when they give them to you, Ron. And to me, with Rainbow Sixes, I like solving a puzzle, but I like when I've got a single I can stand on, and I feel pretty confident with this horse today. They claimed him. The non-winners at 2-12-5 bumped him up just a little bit from the 8 to the 12-5, and this horse just took command on the front end and kept going. You look at the rest of these horses' form, at least this guy has been consistent out of 6 starts 4 times, a win or a second place finish. He's got upside. To be honest, the rest of this field, it's like they don't want to win.
Right.
And at least this horse looks like he wants to win.
And, they're stepping this horse up to 3 lifetime, but that was 12-5-2. This is 8-3. They're not looking to reinvent the world. They're just looking to win again.
Exactly.
So, and then there is a couple other horses that we want to show you in here that we'll video of, and that's Secret Lover and the horse's name that I still haven't gotten, 16 Cigarettes. Let's go They ran okay 2-3 last time out.
Yeah, they did. This was the March 26th race, so this was 2 starts back for Secret Lover. Yeah. Secret Lover has finished 2 seconds in a row now. The Antonio Sano barn. The horses have been running well, but they're not winning still. Yeah. And he had a couple of wins, 2 weeks ago? Yeah. And we thought that this was a barn that was going to pick up, but still not quite there. 16 Cigarettes, actually, in this race. This was the 3rd place finish. Was pretty game in this spot. Now going to stretch out to the mile. I feel like 16 Cigarettes kind of might prefer the mile a little bit more, but still 0 for 4 and 3 underneath on the mile.
I remember the race at Connie King was like 2-5 and down the road.
Exactly,
So there is other ways to go, but I'm in total agreement with Blast Radius. And I know Brian was not as enamored when we did, like I said, when we did a Rainbow Six video together. And I just thought, and almost made this one my single.
Oh, okay,
Almost did,
yeah.
And then you got the 9, and that's Italian Symphony.
Well, has not been on the dirt in a while. Not with the Scott Ackerbarn, who did get a win this week. The races on the off track at Laurel, and even just the fast track, but it was off the grass, off the turf. They were good races. They pulled the blinkers off of a 5-year-old today. I love that move. Jane Sibeli, she didn't have the blinkers on when she had the horse here. You look at the fast track, 2 starts, 2 second place finishes. This is the horse that scares me a little bit.
And you're a nice price, and you're getting Elijah Greenidge in the saddle this afternoon, so you're getting a little break in the weights with that horse. So good point out by you.
Yep.
Getting to race number 7, mile 70 odds on the Peter Claimers. These are fillies, 3-year-olds and fillies, the mares 4 and up, which have never won 3. We did have a couple of scratches in here of the number 3, Awesome Sauce and Bomb Squad. And, well, let's go with let's show the 4, Play Freebird first.
Yeah, this is my
you
top
like that
pick
song?
here. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's good. It's like a
hippie anthem.
Yeah, driving in your convertible with maybe a substance. Play Freebird here was really good this day. This was with Gary Contessa as the trainer. They claimed this horse out of this race, the Sweezy barn. Kent Sweezy has done really good work. It's been a pleasure to watch him these last few months with horses just running well. And this was just a fair and square beat by a horse that was bet like a 2-5 but didn't really run like it, because look at Play Free Bird just was clocking the whole time. That was a really tough beat there. Do we get back to that? I like the first off the claim for Ken.
World Travel came right back and won again, so that was no disgrace losing to a winner that reeled off 2-0. I did go with the number 7, Mean to Me, and I will show you a video that Brian pulled up on this horse, and I thought this horse had a big shot today, and Now You See Me to me is the number 3 horse that afternoon, and just just seems to be cruising along, and wins rather impressively here, and jumps in, he gets claimed by Fernando Abreu.
Well, not a bad thing to be claimed by this barn. This is a very tough barn off the claim. Finally has put 2 wins together, but now you're going to an open 12-5. I will say this, the rest of everybody in this race is a non-winners of 3 lifetime, but I just think that maybe the competition is not as good, but he did win. Did win by a big margin, but she's also 3 years old. She did win against older horses last time. I don't know.
Well, let's show you stat. Maybe that'll help.
Maybe that will help. Maybe that'll point me in the direction.
Okay, first up to claim undefeated the past 4 years, 20%, 45% in the money, 173. I thought there would be more than 20 horses, but I guess not.
It's interesting.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
But that's that's good.
Fernando Abreu, Edgar Zayas, you can't go wrong. 5-horse field there. We have the different, we picked a different winner, but another place where, like I said, if you got that single in the race before, you go 4 deep here, even 5, take all, like she does all the time.
I guess I deserve that one. That's fair.
Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. 5.5 furlongs on the and this is where the Coast to Coast is going to kick off this afternoon.
Yeah, it is. And at our sister track, there's some nice fields there, and they have a carryover in their pick 6, so you play here, then get involved there. But the Coast to Coast, does start here.
Starts here, and it is a 5.5 furlong Tapeta race allowance optional claimer for fillies and mares. 3-year-olds end up. We're going to scratch the 2, Travel Happy, in the number 5, Denver's Alley. And once again, we'll start it off with the horse that Brian has singled in here, and I'd like to. That's Coco Aberio coming off the bench.
Yeah, we'll watch the replay here. This horse took the lead and nobody could catch.
Right.
This was a very hot day today. I specifically put in my notes, in July 26th, it's no big surprise here. This horse at no point of this race looked like she was going to lose. Now, this was her as a 2-year-old. Obviously, something went awry from here because she threw down this huge performance, just laughed at them, which, oh, by the way, none of these that she's running against. Love Actually is a nice filly. This day, it was all front runners.
Right.
All front runners, Ron. And when it's hot like that on this day, that's how it was. So how good was this performance in hindsight? I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't sing like Brian did. Brian, is of the opinion that this horse is going to run exceptionally well. And as you mentioned, it was July. Mm-hmm. This is, what is this? May. So it's been a long time here. You did start it off with the horse I thought had a big shot in here, and that is Royally Blue.
Couple things about this mare here. She's a 4-year-old, or she's a 6-year-old. The 2 3-year-olds in this race is both you and Brian's top picks. One of them. She's getting more space more space between her races, like horses like Warda and My Wife Knows It All. Royally Blue ran very well last time. There's speed to set this mare up. Misael Jaramillo has been riding fantastic. Warda's fast. Coco Barrio's fast. My Wife Knows It All is kind of a closer. There's some speed in here. So is it enough? Now, Denver's Alley was the biggest speed player. Now that horse is out. So maybe it muddles it up just a little bit.
Yeah, Royally Blue, if you want to play devil's advocate, was beaten favored in those 2 races.
That's fair, very fair.
Close-up second. So you always got to factor that in. Talking about My Wife Knows It All. Boy, does she does. I'll say it that way.
She does, yeah.
Brian really likes this horse this afternoon. I'm surprised this is not a single. Let's see this video that he wants to show.
Well, this was on April 17th, so I can't do in my head how many days ago that was, but it was close. And this filly, she ran hard, and she runs very hard each and every time. With horses that are in such good form like this, I understand where you want to keep running them, and I think she got lucky with a couple scratches in this race, and she might look a little bit better. She defeated Amori Control, who was on, I think, officially trying to go for 7 wins in a row. Unofficially, had crossed the wire first. Does this take something out of her?
You know, what I found interesting in this race, I'm where you control. I couldn't believe it was only 5-2 in this race. Every time this horse ran, it was odds on. So it was interesting to see. So on the ticket, my wife knows it all for me, and we, you know, basically in agreement. And you know, Water for Jen Young comes off a pretty nice victory.
Yeah.
First off the claim for them.
Yeah, it was a big effort, but again, April 20th was the last race. That was like 2 weeks ago, maybe. So it's close spacing, especially whenever she ran really hard.
Here is our final race of the afternoon. It's a mile on the turf maiden claimers for 3-year-olds, and we do have one scratch in here of the 11 Handsome Fox. She was talking about Emmanuel Jaramillo. He will be riding the 10 Rashid.
Yeah.
Let's start it off with the horse that I think is going to be odds-on choice. That's El Muhit. We'll show you a replay of that horse.
Yeah, and I believe this was the Fairgrounds race here,
Yep.
so we'll take a look at it. The 14th of March. This was under the Brendan Walsh connections here. This is a Shadwell Stables horse, El Muhit on the inside. You can see the rails were out that day, and this horse, that is not an easy spot to be in there on the temporary rail, and then getting in a four deep duel, I should say. This horse ran huge.
Yeah.
Can this horse come back to it? This is a much different turf course, I'll say that.
Well, let's look at the stat here for Jose D'Angelo with this horse. He is now the trainer of record. First off, the trainer switch on the turf. He's 18%, 52%. Look at that positive return of investment. So he knows how to win with these horses off the bench. And the other horse that you used on your ticket was Milazzo, and we could show a replay of that horse.
Yeah, this was with on April 3rd here. Milazzo, again, dueling on the rail here. And this is not, I mean, to be honest, I don't really think, this horse has kind of got a big, long stride. I don't think he necessarily liked where he was there. Now, I'm not saying there was anything that could be done. That was just the play of the break. The rails were at 10 feet this day. He switches his leads there whenever jockey Joe Bravo hit him left-handed. And he tried hard. If anything, he did try very hard, and he wanted to come back, and that was his stablemate there. I think he should improve. That was only his second turf start that day. We're kind of dropping down just a little bit in class. I thought it was a good effort.
One of the horse before we turn it over to Pete and go to the lightning round, Rashid. I thought that horse has a chance with Emmanuel Jaramillo.
Well, if this horse gets on the lead, he's going to be very dangerous because the rails are out at 66 feet. We saw both horses, of all the horses that won on the grass yesterday, they were right there. This horse is not the best looking horse at all. He's kind of sway backed, and he's an interesting son of Kitten's Joy. But if he can take the lead with the Misael, it might be tough.
We'll see how that plays out, that final race, but we're not done. We've got a lightning round, and boy, is it interesting because we had a lot going on yesterday and a lot going on today.
Oh, we'll take a look back at the Run for the Roses. What a fun race.
It was really fun, and it's just, trying to pick out your horse. You can see where it was, and there's nice job by the guys upstairs. Sovereignty gets a nice trip. And as you mentioned at the top of the show, so happy for Junior Alvarado coming back at the plopping down. There's the turn for home, and I'm saying, there's my horse. I'm not going to point out my horse now. That's for another day. But ran well, and so did the favorite.
Journalism
ran great. I'm right to the wire. This was ding-dong.
I would love to see these two both in the Preakness on a fast track and see what happens. I'm going back and forth. I really don't think Journalism took to the track as much. Baeza, they already confirmed the third-place finisher there is going to run at the Belmont. But just good for Belmont, good for Junior Alvarado. The way that this horse progressed from seeing him here and then there was a really nice turnaround. He was one that had been getting really hot in the mornings, got hot before the Florida Derby. When they shipped him to Churchill, was getting soaked there, and then about a week before the Derby, cool as a cucumber. Yeah. So they did a great job with him.
I'll say two words. Belmont.
There you go.
He's the champ. He can get that stuff done there. We had some nice races here, too.
We did. Yeah, Steve Dwoskin. Yeah. I can't say enough good things about how well managed this horse has been. Honestly, she is really awesome. And It was a huge effort.
This horse was so game. You just thought
my
all
gosh.
these horses were going by.
Yeah,
it's one of those, and just
she
got
got
it
back
out.
in, yeah.
Twice in a row this horse has won like this, so it's very
Just
nice.
Awesome. I'm kicking myself. I didn't think that she would go off at 5-2.
Yeah.
I'm mad I didn't bet, but I bet her last time, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I got her at the bigger price
Right.
there, but just congrats to that team. That out of our performances yesterday, that one was my favorite.
Then we got, as you mentioned, Steamroll. Old Tank got it done.
Yeah, Tank got it done. Forged Steel. It seems like if this horse doesn't just get an open lead, that it just doesn't happen for him. Tank, just came off two victories in a row now.
Yeah, just he would not let the one go by, and the one might have a little bit of chandelier.
I
in
wonder
him.
that too.
Yeah.
Or maybe just not a lot of heart when he
Yeah.
gets past it. You can see he just kind of throws in the towel.
And of course, as we've been saying all morning long, mandatory payout.
Mandatory today. Enjoy.
Races 4 through 9, they're estimating 3 large in the pool. So we'll see how that plays out this afternoon. What's your best bet?
Ooh, what is my best bet today? I think it's Super Watson. Yeah, there we
Super
go.
Watson.
Super
And my
Watson.
best bet today is
And
El Muhit. My long shot is not going to be a long shot today. So
mine isn't either.
Yeah, look at mine, Coco Barry, that Brian Single. I thought he was going to be like, he could be 6-1 in that race.
He could be.
You
never know.
Yours is Seminole Sally 4-1. Oh, man, are we eating short
We're
today?
in trouble.
We're in trouble.
Yeah.
The text will be going in about 2 minutes from our boss. Every time this happens, he explains what a long shot is.
Yeah.
It means long and a shot.
You know what? Misery loves company, Ronnie. It's fine.
Hey, you know what? It's going to be a great day.
It
Don't
is.
forget mandatory payout, and starts in race number 4 today. Pete will be up, and then, of course, Brian will be joining us.